This video is a free taster clip from my brand new online course, Super Ukulele. More details later in the video. Okay, now it's time to look at something called pima picking, and this is where we're going to use the individual digits of the picking hand to pick not only melodies, but picking patterns as well. Yes, just like with strumming patterns, we can have picking patterns as well. Okay, let's talk about what pima means. Well, it's an acronym. So P-I-M-A are the letters we assign to these four fingers. We don't use the little one, not really. You do find it used sometimes, but for the ukulele, we've got 4 strings. We only really need 4 digits, so let's use our 4 strongest ones. P stands for pulgar. That is the Spanish word for thumb. A lot of this technique and terminology comes over from the world of Spanish guitar. So P, pulgar, that's the thumb. Indice is the index finger. That's a bit easy to remember. I, index finger, we use that. And the M as well, media, middle finger. I and M, a little bit more intuitive. A is annular. That's the ring finger. So P and A, maybe not quite as intuitive for English, but certainly I and M. Pima, there we go, P-I-M-A. And this one we don't talk about. We're going to use 2 fingers at a time, then we're going to introduce a 3-finger pattern and then a 4-finger pattern. Let's not dive in with all of the fingers at once, let's keep things nice and simple. We're going to start off with just the P and I digits, and we're going to come to the ukulele with a bit of a C shape or a bit of a pincer. It's sort of a squashed C, I suppose, like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our thumb ready to play the C string, and then our index finger, the I finger, the E string. So we're currently on the inner 2 strings. And you're going to pluck them. Thumb, then index, P, I. And as you do, you just want to make a small movement from the finger itself. This is not coming from the wrist. You're not picking like that. I see so many people doing this. That's so uncomfortable. You're going to strain your wrist or your hand or something doing that. No, all the movement comes from the fingers. And if you're struggling with this, practice opening and closing the fingers like that while keeping the rest of the arm still. Then come back to the ukulele. It's going to probably sound quite quiet compared to your strumming. But that's okay. We don't need this to belt out at 1,000,000 decibels. Just do the C and E strings like that for me, the inner strings. Now let's go to the outer strings. So the thumb now goes on the G string, and then the index finger, the A string. So we're going inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer. That's a really good picking pattern to start with when you're getting used to this technique, because it only uses 2 fingers and it's going in a really musical order, pitch order. Inner, outer is the pitch order, low to high. Inner, outer. And when you've got this pattern, you can use this as a very simple and effective picking pattern to accompany your singing. This is Super Ukulele. This is a course that takes you from the beginner to the intermediate level of playing. Maybe you've been playing a little while and you feel like you're stuck in a rut. You've been playing the same old chords. Or maybe you're really struggling to get past where you are because you've got some pain, some issues and things that you just can't quite seem to get over. Well, we're going to address all of those things and more in this course. We're going to learn loads of new topics and techniques and introduce them in accessible bite-sized chunks so that you can make your own progress at your own rate. We're going to look at things like finger picking, chord melody, adding some extra pizzazz to your chords, and learning how to play in some new keys. We're going to learn a few shortcuts and things to make your life a bit easier, including some simplified versions of some chords that will allow you to participate whenever those trickier chords come up at the ukulele jam. Maybe you've just bought a baritone ukulele and you're not quite sure how to use it. We've got a whole module dedicated to learning about ukulele tunings, and we'll even learn how to perform as well, how to get rid of that music stand and confidently stand up there and deliver an engaging and exciting show to your audience. At the end of the course, you'll come out a more rounded player with more knowledge and technique than you could ever imagine. We've got loads of hours of footage consisting of tutorials and play-alongs as well, with song sheets that you can download and activity packs too. There's loads to sink your teeth into with this course. I'll see you there. So you could play some chords as normal, those shapes, but instead of strumming, you're doing this inner, outer. Let's just practice a very simple chord progression. We're going to go from C to A minor, okay? We're going to go inner, outer on the C, and then the same on the A minor. And as you can see from the notation, these are black notes, so these are kind of medium notes, okay? They're not our really slow white notes, they're not joined up, so they're not really quick. These are just a medium tempo, okay? But you can take this at any tempo you like. If you want to scroll down to where the cog is at the bottom of the video, slow the video down to half speed, be my guest. But here we go. Inner, outer on C, inner, outer on A minor. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, and again. Practice that picking pattern on any chord you like. It works on literally anything. G7, D7, works on anything. It's a bit of a cool way to have a sort of reduced texture to a song. You might have a strummed chorus, but if you want to bring things down for the verse, switch to a picking pattern, just like this. What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. Shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor early in the morning. Hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. So with that Drunken Sailor, just a 2-chord song. The verses were sung with the strumming, and then the choruses with that picking. Just an example of how you can vary things up a bit and bring the texture down. You don't have to be plucking out, belting out that loud percussive strumming sound all the time. You can really bring things down, make them a little bit more intimate or subdued with some picking.